Hello, Halifax. Quickie Roadside here. Today, we're going to do a couch quickie. It was suggested to me one day by a follower. We should call them couch quickies because I sit on the couch doing paperwork. Today, I got a good one for you, though. We're going to address the bad driving situation. And the reason why we're doing it today is because I had another bad driver. We live in a province that had roads that were designed originally for buggies, and the roads were never improved, so they are what they are, so we got to live with them. However, for some reason, I don't know why, I'm guilty of it myself in some cases, we allow the rules of the road to change. So for example, what happened to me today is I had a vehicle that I was following, and they suddenly just stopped to allow a car to turn into their private driveway. I made a left-hand turn into the private driveway. The guy in front is just, hey, I'm going to stop. Damn near rear-ended him, damn near wrote my truck off. Was I pissed? Yes, I was. However, I can't judge because I've done it myself, but not in the same situation. There's a time and a place for it. If you're at an intersection and you're stopped and traffic's not flowing and that guy or that person is trying to turn left, okay, I get it. But when traffic is flowing, stopping to allow somebody to turn left just because they had to sit there for an extra 30 seconds, it's dangerous. It is. And it almost caused an accident. So I've got two solutions. Not everyone's going to like them, but I invite your opinion on them. And one more thing before I get started, because I got to start doing this. I'm on TikTok, Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and I'm trying to be on YouTube. I'm not there yet. Well, I'm there, but I ain't posting as good as I should. So if you want to follow on YouTube, go right ahead. All right, back to the show. You just can't make this stuff up, like Jerry Springer said. For Nova Scotia, age of 50, every 10 years, driving test, mandatory. And you know what? I'm in my 40s, so I'm getting close to it. Am I going to be mad that I got to pay for one? Heck yes. However, if I follow the rules and we all follow the rules, refreshers aren't the worst thing in the world. Okay? I think that will remove a lot of problems. Number 2. We have a lot of drivers here who come from other parts of Canada and from all over the world. I mean, we have a lot of Indian drivers here, a lot of Chinese drivers here. We have drivers here from Europe. We have drivers here from the States. I mean, you drive in Chicago, a lot of times you're taking your life in your own hands if you're driving on the south side of Chicago because you're dodging bullets as much as you're dodging cars. But we're not in Chicago. We're not in India anymore. We're not in Switzerland. Ooh, and that's another one I'm going to do too. I got a really good idea on that one. That's for later. I think what should happen when we move to Nova Scotia, if you are from outside of the country and you move here, before you can get your license, you have to take a driving test. Doesn't matter your age. Doesn't matter if you have an international license. And for those of you who don't know what it is, there are countries where we have agreements with, and I'll give you the easiest one, the United States. We're allowed to drive in the U.S. A lot of you that go to the U.S. have driven there. There's actually an agreement, a treaty that's signed. Funny little tidbit. In California, a cop pulled over a guy from Canada driving a Lambo, said he wasn't allowed to drive here, said he was totally illegal. The guy literally walked in with the treaty and said, here it is, here's the law, I'm following it, take your ticket, and the cop literally had to. He hadn't broken any laws. Anyway, back to the story. What needs to happen is, you move to Nova Scotia, you have to book a appointment with a driving school. And that driving school has to be accredited with the province. And here's why I say driving school instead of driving examiner. As an examiner and as a driving instructor, you have to be on the same page in order to pass the test. So all the province would have to do is accredit the driving school to an examining situation and say, yes, this driver is safe to drive in Nova Scotia. The reason why I say driving schools is there are a number of them here who teach driving in that language wherever they're from, which is perfect because then they're not having to go to secondary language such as English or Maritime or Newfoundlandese or whatever you speak. They can learn in their language, but it's teaching them the rules of the road. And when they take the test, that driving test, it has to have certain criteria in it. How to navigate a traffic circle, how to jump on a highway, how to yield, what is a merge sign, a free flow lane, all of that. And it has to be recorded. Oh, yeah, you have to be recorded. Driver and road. That way, if the driver fails the test, no license. Right off the bat, no license. You have to go back to school, you have to learn. Okay? And a lot of people are going to go, well, actually it works two ways. One, it takes and puts the accountability on the driving school. So if the driving school messes up, they're out. And then the province has to find another driving school. Number two, it's money well spent anyways. You're going to have to spend money to buy a license, so why not do it properly? Okay? And then when you go to the examiner can look at your file and say, oh, yeah, okay. And it would be the same as if you got the demerit points as if you were taking your own road test. It's no different. It's just that we're now including people from other countries. And the one thing that I have to say about driving in other countries, it's not that they're bad drivers. That's not it. They drive differently. And I'll give you another example. A long time ago, I used to be very uneducated, and I used to think that people from China would drive badly because they'd make a left-hand turn and they would always get in accidents. And I said to myself one day, why? Why? Well, guess what I got and learned? In China, turning left is a priority. And it actually makes sense because if you turn and clear out the left turning lane first before you allow the back and forth, the straight driving to continue, it reduces the chance that somebody who is waiting to turn left is going to cut you off. It makes perfect sense. It really actually does. And if you're so used to doing that over there and you come over here, I get it. Because over here, we are the exact opposite. And so you're waiting in lane. You're like, well, no, I have the right of way to go. No, you actually don't. Again, all it is a change in thought of the mind. By doing this, we are actually putting everybody on the exact same playing field. No advantages. You actually cannot make the statement of, well, they got their license off the back of a cereal box any longer because it's video proofed. It's there. And they had to take the test. And if they fail the test, they have to go back to class and learn. It's one way of getting rid of a lot of poor driving in Nova Scotia and around Halifax. As well, while the province puts the act in motion, it's not a whole lot of money because they're actually putting the accountability and the responsibility on the driving schools, that's where you have to learn to drive in the first place. I actually had to take Young Drivers of Canada. They're still here. When I took it as a 16-year-old kid way back in days, you actually got a reduction in your insurance and you got a reduction in your license. Same thing. It works, and it has worked.